So, hey everybody, my name is Cameron Dennis. I've been working at the Near Foundation for the last 2.5 years or so. Been in the blockchain space for about 6, and my background is actually in education. So I run this nonprofit that starts blockchain development courses at universities. I've worked with a bunch of different protocols, the Ethereum Foundation, Algorand Foundation, Solana, Polygon, the list goes on. But to be honest, all these blockchains are just a means to an end. That end is a world where people can verifiably own their own money, data, and governance without a third party. The whole point here is how do we give people the option, not force them, but we actually need to provide all of these Web 2 users, because to be honest, we're not going to bring all these people into Web 3 through MetaMask. It's just not going to work. We need to actually work with a lot of Web 2 companies, giving their users the option to exit and own their own money, data, and governance. I just want to repeat that again, because that is the whole point. Near is just one of many implementations. The reason why I focused on this full time is because I actually think it's the fastest path towards this end because of a few key things. One, it's incredibly simple. Every wallet on Near is a smart contract and has human readable public keys. So if we're trying to onboard like all of Beyonce's fans to Web3, they don't need to use a 0x 64 character hexadecimal public key. I'm Cameron.Near. So you can send me money via Cameron.Near. The other really cool thing is that it's never gone down. This is really important for blockchains that are supposed to be providing the infrastructure for the world's money, data, and governance. Engineer to be able to review where your money is going. And so I think with JavaScript support, we're going to enable, I can go to any web development bootcamp in the world and ask them, hey, do you want to learn how to program money? And then get them programming money. That's really neat. The barrier of entry is so much lower. So lots of DAOs, all the infrastructure exists already. Like the DAO tooling, DeFi tooling, like infrastructure, NFT standards, it's all there. You can literally build anything you want on Near today. So this has been some incredible growth over the last year or so. It's about 10x increase from 2 million accounts to 23 million accounts, 100 projects to 1,000 projects, and also the Near Foundation raised around $800 million about a year and a half ago by some of the largest funds in the space. What's really cool about this, though, is that no single fund owns a huge portion of the protocol. This is what we've seen as a huge threat to ecosystems recently, where if a single fund owns a huge portion of the protocol and they go down for whatever reason, it could cause some tremendous turmoil in the ecosystem. So this is quite well diversified across the funds. And the role of the Near Foundation, by the way, it's a Swiss-based nonprofit, is just to raise awareness of Near, support the projects building the ecosystem, and ultimately providing a clear path towards decentralization. The Near Foundation is actually in the bylaws, and I can dive into this a bit later, but the Near Foundation is working to decentralize. What does this mean? Well, this $1.1 billion that it currently manages is intended to be actually controlled by the community through a huge initiative called the Near Digital Collective. And it's just getting started now, but there was about $11 million allocated to this DAO to start recreating a lot of the same programs that the foundation has been doing over the last 4 years in a more distributed way. So if anyone's interested in getting more involved in that, there are specific working groups for dedicated programs. But the team is also super cracked. We have people all around the world, different hubs. US hub is actually probably one of the smallest hubs. The US was not a priority market for the Near Foundation for quite a while. And I'm actually leaving the Near Foundation to focus on the US market. So we actually have workshops here in New York every single week. James, raise your hand. We also are going to run more demo days, more like dinners, get the community together. Just to be clear, this community is primarily for founders and builders. Everyone is welcome, but we want people to ship. Just want to be crystal clear here. We don't want a bunch of people just coming in, drinking booze and leaving. That is not the goal. So, a little brief history for those anyone here is interested in AI, like machine learning? Cool. So Near actually started off as an AI company because the co-founder, this guy Ilya Polosukhin, up in the top left, he is a co-author of a paper called Attention is All You Need. Attention is All You Need is what describes transformers for the first time. Transformers is the T in ChatGPT. And so where Near originally started was a crowdsourced data labeling platform. So people can get paid just to accurately label data sets to then train large language models. The issue there, the reason why I pivoted to a blockchain L1, is because you need a network to facilitate those payments where the transaction fee is lower than the payment itself. Because if you try to do this on a bunch of other layer ones, the transaction fee a lot of times is higher than the payment. And that's a problem. And this all started back in like 2017 or so. So they literally over-engineered this giant, amazing blockchain that addresses all these issues that other blockchains don't to solve this one issue. Now, what's really cool here is that this vision did not go away. One of the co-founders is still super, super interested in this. The other co-founder, Ilya, is more focused on the blockchain side. And this is all kind of coming full circle. 4 years later, built a protocol that scales, has billions of dollars of value on it, thousands of apps, or 1,000+ apps. And now we're kind of reaching back to the point where we can create, in the perfect world, a decentralized, community-governed superintelligence. That is the original vision of NEAR. So, I kind of talked about this already. Today, if you want to learn more about the unique things to NEAR, you can come visit us at the booth or the little room. But today we're going to be talking about this thing called the blockchain operating system. It's a relatively significant refocus for the ecosystem, where instead of all these blockchain developers having to deploy on all these different L1s, L2s, L3s, honestly, it's kind of a road to nowhere. We want to give users a single panel of glass or a single view to access any app in Web3 in a decentralized way, as long as they host their front end on NEAR. So James is here to talk a little bit more about this. For those who may have seen the tutorials, this is exactly what we're interested in pushing today. But just to keep in mind, this is one piece of this greater ecosystem. There's still all this other DeFi and DAOs and NFTs and infrastructure stuff happening. This is just one team focused on this. And so, yeah, James, if you want to comment up, better explain BOSS, and yeah, thanks all for coming.
Thank you, Cameron.